Okay, hi, I'm back. More simplifying or evaluating, more evaluating logs. So now this one, log base 6 of 1 equals what? 6 to what power equals 1? How do you raise something to a power and get a 1 if that power is 0? Oh boy. All right, here we got 5. 25 is a base of 5. So I'm going to rewrite this one using 5 to the first. And then the cube root of 25, let me move this down here. The cube root of 25, 25 part is just 5 squared. And then you also have the cube root around it. Could we write that as an exponential? Well, if you watched the videos that I did yesterday, we talked about how to convert from radical form into exponential form. So this would be 5 raised to the 2 over 3. 2 over 3. So now that I've done that, I can take this exponent and divide by this exponent. What's 2/3 divided by 1? 2/3. That's kind of weird to do if you had to do it like the way we did number 16 by guessing. I don't know that I would have been able to come up with that one, but I think it's pretty easy to do if you convert it into a fraction exponent and then just do the upper divided by the lower. All right, for 18, there's no number down here. What is the number of the base if they don't give you a number down here and they write the word log? Do you remember? It is a 10. That's called the common log. Log base 10 of 10 cubed. Do these have the same base? Yes, they're both base 10. So this is log base 10 to the first and 10 to the third, which means I just do 3 divided by 1 equals 3. Okay, next. Okay, this is a log base 6. And now I'm probably supposed to rewrite this as a base 6. Is 36 a base 6? Yes, that's 6 squared. And then that's a 5th root. So in order to rewrite this one, I have to pay attention to the fact that it's in the denominator. This is 6 squared under a 5th root symbol. So I'm just going to cross that out. It's 6 to the 2 over 5 power. And it's in the denominator. So we should remember that when you have an exponent in the denominator, we can move that up to the numerator and change the sign on it. So that's going to be 6 to the negative 2/5 power. This lower 6 is a 6 to the first. So I'm going to divide my powers. Negative 2/5 divided by 1 is negative 2/5. Okay, 20. Again, there's no base number. Since it says the word log, that's a log base 10. Is 100,000 a base 10? Yes. That's 10 to what power? Well, this would be 10 to the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And a shortcut you can do for these ones that are base 10 or a power of 10 is you just count rows and that's the power. So this is 10 to the first down here. This is 10 to the fifth. And so we'll do 5 divided by 1 is 5. 21. Again, another log base 10. That's 10 to the first. This is 10 to the negative fourth. So what do? Negative 4 divided by 1. Okay, 22, we have an ln. ln can be converted into log base e. log base e is the same thing as writing ln, so this right here. And I'm just going to erase that because that's log base e. And then we still have e to the third. So these are matching bases. This is e to the first and e to the third. I'm going to do 3 divided by 1 is 3. 23 ln is log base e. 1 over e is the same thing as e to the first on the bottom, which means if you move it up to the numerator, it's e to the negative first. The e in the log base e is just an e to the first, so I'm going to take negative 1 over 1, which is a negative 1. 24 ln is log base e. E to the 7th power underneath a square root symbol. Remember, there's an invisible 2 here. We're going to rewrite that as 1 over e to the 7 over 2. Since this is in the denominator and not the numerator where we want it to be, we're going to go e to the first, and then this fractional one is e to the negative 7/2. Just make it a negative because I'm moving it up to the numerator. Now I'm going to divide my powers. I get a negative 7/2 divided by a 1, which is negative 7 over 2. Okay, sorry, I had to tell my kid to shut the volume off on the app he's playing on. Okay, 25 is so difficult choosing a color. Okay, 25 is, whoa, it's a half and a fourth. So I have to think about what can I turn a fourth and a half both into. And those are both in the denominator, but if they were in the numerator and I just had a 2 and a 4, I would make those a base 2. So I'm going to go with log base 2. And 2 to the negative 1 power, remember that's 2 to the first on the bottom. 2 to the negative 1 power is the same thing as a half. And then my 1/4 is 1 over, this is a 2 squared, right? So that's 2 to the negative 2 if you move it up. Then I can just take negative 2 divided by negative 1, and that equals 2. Okay, 26. This is a 5, and a 25 is also a base 5, so this is log base 5. This is 5 to the first on the bottom, which is 5 to the negative 1, and the 25 is 5 to the positive 2. Divide these powers. You get 2 divided by a negative 1, which is negative 2. Okay, 4 and 2, those are both base 2. So I have a log of 2. This 4 is a 2 squared. What is 1/2? Written as a power of 2. That would be 2 to the first. It's in the denominator, so if I move that up to the top, it's 2 to the negative first. And we've got negative 1 over 2. Negative 1 divided by 2 is negative 1/2. Okay, I'm back again. Now we are going to be solving for x. Leave an answer in terms of e if necessary. Okay, so I'm trying to solve for x. This is in log form. So the easiest thing for me to do would be to convert this into exponential form. Start with 5, raise it to the 4th power, equals x. Do you know 5 to the 4th power? 5 to the 4th is, like, if you know 5 to the 3rd power is 125, multiply that by another 5, and you get x equals 625. 29, start with 6, raise it to the second power equals x. 6 squared equals x. What is 6 squared? It's 36. I just asked my son. 36, so x equals 36. Mikey, you're doing calculus. All right, next one. We have a log. It doesn't have a number. If it doesn't have a number and it's written as log, the base is a 10. So now it's 10 raised to the second equals x. What's 10 squared? 100. 31. Our base is x. So this is x raised to the second equals 121. X squared equals 121. Now, normally when we solve this one, we would take the square root of both sides, like this. And when it's us introducing square root, we'd have to remember the plus or the minus. But if you guys go back and look at the top of the notes, that base number is not allowed to be a negative number. So we're going to cross out the negative here, and our answer is just going to be x equals positive 11. Okay. Logs are defined so that we don't put a negative number in right there. Okay, next one we have x cubed equals 64. X cubed equals 64. So you either know that by heart or you can take the cube root of both sides. With the cube root, you don't need a plus or minus because that could be a positive or a negative answer. And the cube root of 64 is 4. Oh, I'm running out of time. Okay, next one, 33, we're going to start with x raised to the negative first equals 0.5. X to the negative first equals 0.5. All right, 0.5 is the same thing as what popular fraction? 1/2. And then our x to the negative 1, that's 1 over x. Okay, 1 over x to the first. And that equals 1 over 2. So if you compare these, 1 over 1 equals x over 2. Your x value is 2. Okay, from right here. You just need to look at the denominator of that one. Sorry, I'm trying to go quickly. I run out of time at 15 minutes and I have 2 more minutes, 2 more problems. All right, 35, we have ln of x. ln is log base e. So I'm rewriting that as a log base e. In the directions, they said we're allowed to leave answers in terms of e, so I don't need to grab a calculator to do these. This is just going to be e raised to the 17th equals x, and you're allowed to leave it that way. Okay, we don't need to take 2.71828 and multiply that out 17 times or raise it to the power to get our answer. Okay, to leave. All right, 1 more minute for the last one. ln of e to the 10th equals x. This is log base e of e to the 10th equals x. Now I'm writing that in exponential form, so this is e raised to the x equals e to the 10th. You can see these bases are the same. If the bases are the same, the exponents are the same. So what does my x have to equal? 10. Okay, good job. We are done for the day. Oh my God, I didn't do 34. I have 30 seconds. Oh my gosh. All right, x to the 1/2 power equals the square root of 6. The square root of 6 is the same thing as 6 to the 1/2 power. So my x is 6. I know that was super fast. I have 10 seconds. Okay, bye. Good job.